Welcome back to another episode of Hi Neighbor. My name is Laird Davis.
And I'm Ned Moultrie. On today's episode, we are learning about what it's like to run your own business while being a full-time student.
Although it may seem difficult, our special guests today have proven that it's possible to photograph the Super Bowl or sell custom jewelry right after finishing your homework.
Students all across App State's campus are taking the skills they learn in the classroom, combining them with their own creative interests, and boosting their resumes with self-made businesses.
Join us on this inspiring episode as we say, Hi Neighbor. No matter what degree App State students cross the graduation stage with, our peers excel in harnessing their creativity outside of the classroom to their own advantage. Today, Lindsey Vonn is here to tell us about how she owns and operates her own photography business. Hi Lindsey, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
So what is your studio called?
Wild Onyx Photography.
And can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I do photography for events, such sporting events and weddings, some portraits, senior sessions, and also some families.
And how long have you been doing this now?
I have been a business owner since I was 17 and a half,
Wow.
and I'm now 22.
And getting started that young, you were still in high school, I assume.
Correct, yes.
And that's a very intensive process. I can only imagine what it's like being an entrepreneur at that age. But what inspired you to go into photography in the first place?
So when I was 7, I traveled a lot with my father for his company and also as a family. And we would travel, and we went to Pennsylvania, Michigan, and a bunch of other places. And so I would take this little film Barbie camera with me and take photos. And so my parents have a lot of the photos that I took back then. And then in 8th grade, I really wanted to go to Savannah, Georgia. I'm from Atlanta. And so we were going on an 8th grade trip. And so I wanted to have a camera, but not like the little film camera. And so my grandfather bought me a small point and shoot Canon camera. And so I took that with me and used that all through high school. And then my senior year bought a DSLR.
Nice. And so being in the photography business, my mother's a professional photographer, so I have a little bit of perspective into this, but it's a really challenging competitive industry, especially with the rise of things like smartphones. The demand for photographers in a lot of fields, or at least in portraiture, has gone down. What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in becoming a professional photographer?
As being a female sports photographer, there's been a lot of pushback. There's not that many female sports photographers in the industry, but there is a saturated market for wedding photography, and I also do wedding photography, so I don't really have problems getting clients there, but I have overcome a lot of struggles at different games and different events as a female, and have received a lot of hate from other teams. Now here at App, I haven't had those problems, but when I've been at other events for other schools where App has been the opposing team, I've received a lot of criticism. And so just kind of pushing for that and not letting that get to me has been a big thing for me.
And the fact that you've persevered despite all of that is really admirable, I must say.
Thank you.
What are some of the most exciting things you've done as a photographer? Because you get to witness all of these incredible moments in sports and family life. What are some of your favorites?
So back in February, I shot the Super Bowl for Arthur Blank in Atlanta. And I know a bunch of people who work for the Falcons since I live 5 minutes from the facility. And so I had the opportunity to work with a lady named Danielle Hayes, and she's the owner of Lux Photography. And so I worked under her for the Super Bowl and photographed Arthur Blank, who is our boss, and then also other celebrities like Steve Harvey and the Obamas, and a couple of other famous people who play with the Yankees, like Aaron Judge. And so just working with them. And then I also worked for Atlanta United, the soccer team that was just established in 2017 over the summer. And then I've been working here for App Athletics. And then I also have my own thing where I do weddings for other clients.
So you're really all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of travel, I assume?
It is a lot of travel. A lot of my weddings are based in Asheville or Atlanta. Like last week, I went home and had 2 weddings in the metro Atlanta area. So I do travel. I'm really never here on weekends unless we have a home football game, and I will be covering that. Or if we have other events, like this weekend we have field hockey, so I'll be here covering that. But I travel quite a bit.
Yeah. Every week's a new adventure, I
Yes,
suppose.
definitely.
What kind of advice would you have, what words of advice would you have for students who, despite being in class and being fully engaged with school, are hoping to also start their own business?
For owning your own business, a lot of people hate on you, especially at a young age. And a motto that I've always gone through is don't let anybody rain on your sunshine. And so it's just really important for me to give advice to other people who want to own photography businesses. I'm more than willing and help people who want to start that adventure and don't really know where to go and how to do it. And some people, even if they're not taking business classes, they want to start their own business. But you don't have to be a business major to start your own business. You can pretty much do it by yourself. And there are a lot of books that I've researched and had, and I also have a lot of mentors who have helped me. And Chad Mitchell is one of my biggest mentors, and he is a sports photographer for App Alumni Association. And so my freshman year here, he was pretty big on sports photography, but also with me being a female, giving me the opportunity to learn and not push me down because I'm a female. And so just finding that one person in the community to help you out is definitely big, I think.
That's wonderful. And the importance of having that sort of launching off point, that support structure is crucial for that kind of business and that kind of ordeal, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So you're a senior now.
Correct.
And what are your plans for your business going forward once you graduate? What are your goals, your aspirations?
So I graduate next December, and I already have weddings lined up for 2020. And also I might end up working for the Falcons and Atlanta United since I'm working with them part-time right now. I'm going to try after I graduate to work with them as a graphic designer and a photographer, so I can do both because my major is graphic communications management. And so I really like the design side, but I also really like photography. And so with the Falcons or some other sports team, I can do both.
All right. And so for those students who really want to check out your work or learn more about you or your business, where can they find you?
So I have a website, www.wildonyxphotography.com, and you also can find me on Instagram.
Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to continue to see you on the sidelines of every football game and to see more of your work in the future. After we take a look at some of Lindsey's photography in action, join us as we speak with Justin Sykes, a student who turned a unique artistic activity into a business that brings joy to others.
So I'm about to photograph the 3 teams who are coming through, App State, Lee's McRae, and Northern Kentucky. And this is the boys cross country race, the Mountain to Seas Open.
Come on, Kyle! Let's go! Push,
For the
dude.
run.
Come on, Kyle.
Push, let's go! Push, man! Open it up, let's go, Kyle! Come on, Ruben! Come on, Ruben!
Come on, Drew, you got one coming. Turn it on right now. Come on.
I ran cross country in high school, so this has been a really big thing for me, and I also have people on the cross country team in my major, so keeping up with it is not a problem. But for some of the other smaller sports, it is kind of hard to keep up because there's so many things going on. But definitely with football and this and soccer, I pretty much know all the stats and all the players' names, and a lot of them know who I am too.
You got it. Keep going.
Come on. Yeah. So I did 2 races, and the boys and the girls, and so for each race I took about 450 photos. And this also includes photos from App State and also other teams. So like I said, Lise McRae is here, so I took photos of them, and obviously like they will get the photos. But all of our athletes for App, they get all of my photos through a gallery. So I have like on my website where they can look at all the events that I've covered. My favorite thing is probably the experience of me taking all the photos and then also being there at the different events. And I like to share the experience with the athletes. So I am a former athlete, and so I can relate really well to athletes, whereas a lot of other photographers, they don't understand that. They just take photos. They are not athletes, so they don't come with that mindset. So I think for me, it's really good to know the game, but also know the personality of the athletes and what they're experiencing at the same time. And so since they're playing the game, and I'm basically playing the game too, but just with my camera, and showing them all of the photos after the game, it helps them with their experience and just helping them recognize that they did a really good job playing or running or whatever they did.
I started making paper cranes in high school just as an anxiety thing, and then my girlfriend wanted a gift for Christmas, so I said, what if I made them into earrings? And then they turned out to be kind of cool, so I just kept making them and started selling them. I start with just folding cranes as I just go about the day, and then when I take them home, I cover them in like a protective coating and then stab them through to get the metal to go through it. I use books and turn those into cranes, and those have actually been my best selling earrings just because they're fun and very recognizable. People have come up to me and been like, I see your cranes all over campus and this and that, and I know that like that makes people smile, and that's what the end goal is. I think my business has impacted me in a pretty positive way just because I already do it, but now I have somewhere for them to go instead of just my box in my closet. I would say, yeah, just do what you are passionate about. Do whatever you're already doing and see how you can spread joy. And if it makes people smile, they're probably gonna buy it.
Here at Hi Neighbor, we all strive to get our viewers out and about in the Boone community. This week, Annie Jones shares with us a special event happening at Grandfather Mountain that you won't want to miss.
Hawkwatch is an annual tradition throughout the month of September, bringing the community together for their love of raptors and wildlife. Come and grab a front row seat to one of life's most beautiful cycles and witness firsthand the hawks as they migrate for the winter right here in the backyard of your community. Hawkwatch is located on top of Grandfather Mountain at Linville Peak, across the mile-high swinging bridge. At an elevation over 5,000 feet, this site offers a 360-degree view so visitors from all around can gather and watch and count the raptors heading south for the winter.
A lot of our people are just casual visitors. Generally, they're always intrigued to see what we're doing with spotting scopes and binoculars and just looking and pointing in certain directions.
With a pair of binoculars, you can observe migrating raptors of prey. Grandfather Mountain is one of over 300 Hawkwatch sites founded by the Hawk Migration Association of North America. The annual count provides data of hawk populations and migration routes for land management decisions. Serving more than just a spectacular view, become a volunteer and get a part of the action.
People come together and you meet people who have the same love for the environment and their curiosity, and they're all here just trying to, get a view and just gain more insight and understanding.
Oh, that's incredible.
Raptors of prey include hawks, falcons, eagles, owls, and vultures. The raptors are migrating for warmth, food, and safe places to breed.
We did see an eagle that just soared over about 15 minutes ago, so it's pretty incredible.
Gates at Grandfather open up at 9 in the morning. Hawk Watch is available all throughout the month of September when weather permits. Reporting for High Neighbor, I'm Annie Jones.
That's all for this week's episode.
Thank you for joining us today to learn what it takes to succeed both on and off campus.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at watchapptv.com and check out our YouTube channel, AppTV, for more content.
Until next time,
Bye,
neighbor.